the heart of Kyoto, once called Heian-kyō, there stands a palace that does not seek to impress through gold, height, or fortification, but through something far more elusive: space, light, and silence. The Kyoto Imperial Palace was first established in the year 794, when Emperor Kanmu transferred the capital to this newly planned city, creating a center of political authority and cultural refinement that would shape Japan for more than 1,000 years. From the beginning, this was not a residence of military power, but a stage upon which ritual, poetry, and seasonal awareness defined the meaning of rule. What we see today is largely the reconstruction of 1855. Yet its spirit belongs to the Heian period, an era in which the imperial court lived in a world governed not by swords, but by aesthetics. While castles in other parts of the world rose behind moats and walls, this palace remained open, its architecture low and horizontal, its materials organic, its strength drawn from continuity rather than defense. It was a place where authority was expressed through order, proportion, and the choreography of ceremony. The Shishinden, the main hall of state, rises quietly above a vast courtyard of white gravel that reflects the sunlight like a still ocean. When enthronement ceremonies were held here, every movement followed a protocol refined across centuries. The emperor appeared not as a distant warlord, but as a sacred presence, clothed in the sakutai, a layered robe of deep orange and pure white. Its long trailing form extending behind him like a visible thread connecting past and present. The space around him was never crowded. Emptiness itself became a form of reverence. Inside the halls, the geometry of tatami mats determined the invisible structure of power. Rank was not announced by voice, but by position. The distance between one person and the sovereign was measured not in steps, but in the number of tatami borders that separated them. To move closer was to move upward in the political universe of the court. In this way, architecture became a language, and space became hierarchy. In the private quarters, court ladies moved like living paintings. They wore the junihitoe, the celebrated 12-layered robe whose colors shifted with the seasons and whose weight could reach 20 kilograms. Yet when they walked, the garments seemed to float, the layers opening and closing like the petals of a flower. In autumn, tones of crimson, persimmon, and gold echoed the maple leaves beyond the screens. In spring, pale greens and soft pinks mirrored the first blossoms. The human body became part of the landscape, and clothing became a calendar of time. Life within the palace unfolded in harmony with nature. When the plum blossoms opened, poetry gatherings were held, and the ability to compose a verse in a single breath was considered a sign of true cultivation. In summer, music drifted through open corridors, carried by the warm air. In autumn, the viewing of the moon was not simply an act of admiration, but a political and spiritual event, a moment in which the court affirmed its refinement and unity. The governing belief was clear. The state could only be stable if the souls of those who led it were themselves in balance. Yet beneath this world of elegance lay a fragile reality. Over time, real administrative and military authority passed to the shogunate. The emperor remained the spiritual center of the nation, but no longer its political engine. The palace became a place of continuity rather than command. Its silence deepened, but that silence was not emptiness, it was endurance. Fire came often. Across the centuries, the palace was destroyed and rebuilt at least 8 times. Each reconstruction followed the same proportions, the same alignments, the same philosophy, as if the physical material were less important than the preservation of form. What stands today is the final expression of that long cycle of loss and renewal, a structure that remembers all its previous lives. Then, in 1869, Emperor Meiji left Kyoto for Tokyo, and with his departure the political life of the palace came to an end. The halls did not collapse, the gardens did not vanish, but the footsteps of courtiers faded into memory. The sound of layered silk, the recitation of poetry, the quiet preparation of ceremony, all dissolved into stillness. And yet the meaning of the place did not disappear, it transformed. The palace became a vessel of memory, preserved in wood, paper, gravel, and air. To walk there today is to enter a different rhythm of time. The corridors echo only with wind and the soft sound of footsteps. The gardens are no longer stages for ritual, but spaces for contemplation. Every autumn, the maple trees still burn with the same red that once framed the robes of courtiers 1,000 years ago. Nothing announces itself loudly, and yet everything speaks. The Kyoto Imperial Palace offers another definition of luxury. It is not the accumulation of objects, but the perfection of proportion. It is not spectacle, but restraint. It is the understanding that power can be expressed through emptiness, and that beauty can exist in the pause between movements. Here, light becomes architecture, silence becomes ceremony, space becomes memory. And as we leave this place, we do not carry with us the image of a throne or a crown, but a feeling, the awareness that refinement, patience, and harmony once stood at the center of a civilization for more than a millennium. Thank you for traveling through time in Kyoto. If this journey into timeless classical beauty has given you a moment of calm and reflection, I invite you to subscribe and continue with us as we explore the great palaces of the world, each one a different expression of power, culture, and the human desire to create something that outlives its own era. Beyond the next gate, another story is already waiting.